I discovered loving on purpose originally back when I was in high school. My parents got a hold of it, and their parenting radically changed. It was jarring, to say the least. It went from we were all kind of on the same page, how we communicate, how we do conflict, and all of a sudden I was the odd man out because we weren't yelling anymore. We weren't saying the things we used to say anymore. So it was a process. I think the season of life I was in as a teenager, it was jarring and a little confusing. And I think, but as my parents, got a hold of these tools and started showing up so differently, it was hard to trust and believe because it was so different. And over time, my relationship with my parents, it was probably something I could have never actually thought of having, being as connected to them as I am, because it just wasn't something I had growing up. It was a wrestle with them. I think at first it felt like a language I didn't know. Like when my parents got a hold of it and I didn't have it, it felt a little unfair. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean, what do I need? We don't say things like that. I felt really confused when I first experienced it. It was hard at first to show up as myself. I think it felt a little wooden. It didn't feel, I was like, how do I still show up? Because I was so used to showing up angry. I was so used to showing up, honestly, selfish and self-protective. And then over time, I think just through the practice and through hearing testimonies even and walking with people through it, and again, I think the immersive culture as well, this is what a culture of people who pursue connection looks like. It's not people who have this perfect script in their communication that say everything right. It's just people with the true goal to connect with each other and good tools to actually show up as themselves, but with this new goal in mind. I think I had kind of a slow process of realizing how to use these to show up better as myself. Not, how do I be a loving on purpose person, but how do I use these tools to actually show up? And it changed everything. I remember at the time I was living with roommates that I didn't really have connection with, and having these really intense conversations about finances that we were not seeing the same. And I remember even just within a year's time, being able to sit with these girls who, they're not family, but actually genuinely mean it when I say, hey, connection with you is a priority in this really tense conversation, in this really real conflict. And then actually having the tools to be honest. I wasn't masking my feelings, I wasn't being dishonest, but I was able to do it in an effective way, in a way that did protect connection with them, and also knowing when to step away, which I think was a really good thing of, how do I protect connection authentically? And I remember even within a year, I was able to have this conversation that, so easily would have completely blown up, and I would have handled completely differently. And we were actually all able to walk away connected. In my life, I think I've found the tools the most useful. Really, I had a pretty quick season shift, so I was exposed to them as a teenager, kind of was really leaned into it in my early 20s when I was kind of taking them on myself and practicing and using them. And then in my early 20s, I went from working in a restaurant to being a youth pastor and had a very different culture shift and just was having to navigate a lot of sensitive conversations, lead people at a different capacity in the room with other leaders as well, having to show up with big personalities with other leaders in these important conversations and meetings, and also just heart to heart, meetings and walking young people through what they're feeling and experiencing. And I find myself using it with young people all the time. I think the tools are helpful for all generations. I think young people especially, they don't have language for a lot of what they're feeling and experiencing. I work with middle school, so it's a lot of emotions, it's a lot of feelings, and not a lot of language, not a lot of tools typically, not a lot of history in their family of navigating emotion and conflict well. And so these tools, you watch students feel so empowered and teenagers kind of their eyes open to, oh, there's another way to do this. And I get to see that all the time. Even from big things like generational patterns of how we navigate conflict and emotion, down to just how do I handle drama that comes up in my friend group, and actually having real tools besides just the classic, oh, drama comes with high school, drama comes with middle school. Actually having the tools to show up differently and navigate that in a healthy way. Yeah, I think in a media-driven, social media-driven generation, there's less and less. I mean, the muscles to show up face-to-face and be brave in conflict and be honest in conflict are atrophying by the day. There's so many terrible tools out there that are easy to grab onto. I think the language has been one of the most powerful things, to actually be able to put language in their hands to help them explain what they're feeling. And then the simple and profound goal of saying connection's actually my goal. I mean, it's so shocking to ask, well, what is your goal? You know, when it comes to, I'm gonna go talk to him or I'm gonna say something, just to realize, oh, nobody's actually stopping and asking you that. You're not thinking that far ahead. And so to have this language, I feel like it actually gives them the tools to show up. Because, I mean, it takes bravery for everyone and every generation to show up and be vulnerable and to show up and be themselves. And I think it's needed in this generation more than ever. I would absolutely recommend the Loving on Purpose tools to young adults. I mean, there has not been a situation I feel like I've faced where I didn't need them. I mean, when it comes to navigating even just young professional life, you know, showing up and wanting to, you know, being often the youngest and more inexperienced one in the room, but wanting to show up well and bring myself in, whether it's high intensity conversations or again, just among other leaders. And then also just in friendship and dating relationships. I mean, it has buoyed me through so many things. It's been empowering. It's been almost like the door, I feel like, to actually walk through and show up when it comes to conversations and relationships. When I feel a little stuck of, okay, what's going on? How am I feeling? How do I want to show up? I mean, this has really been the avenue to do that. The tools, the language, it's been a game changer.